Big Pete Edwards back in the studio. Good morning. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. You're listening to Straight Up the Middle. And good morning from me, Clinton Paris, and Pete. Say hello to the people.
Hey, man, good morning, everybody. I was just telling you off the air, as you have a lot of injuries with your hips and legs and stuff, you have to, you may like one car, but you may have to upgrade that car because you just can't get up and down in it. And
you looking smooth on riding in the parking lot.
I got on my muscle shirt.
Yeah, you look pretty fly coming out. But Pete, it's good to have you back as always. We missed you here. We need your input. I appreciate you battling through the technology and getting on the phone with us. But thankfully, though, you've come back just in time for some great political news.
Let's get in it.
My man Joe Biden he's making his moves. He's checking the boxes. Have you noticed? People were saying Joe Biden is done because of gas prices. Well, gas prices are starting to fall, Pete.
I actually saw a gas price in the Tampa Bay area that was under $4.
Yeah.
And it does remind me of when Obama was in office. But here's the key with all of that. And we don't educate our kids enough at the younger ages to understand the balances and what a president power has and what he doesn't have.
But kids got their hands full with the.
But you got to teach them.
They're trying to hold on to their lunch money. They're trying not to miss the school bus. They're trying to get notes passed in class. Pete, you want them to sit down and actually listen to me talk about some old geezer
here's the
up
thing.
in Washington D.C.
Well, this is why I blame the rap artists.
Music.
The music. They can educate our kids in a positive way that intertwines our fabulous black history, how to avoid the pitfalls of before, all of that with a proper beat, and educate them and dance to the music at the same time.
Well, you're bringing up something, Pete, and this is what you got. Well, I'm saying you guys. I mean, the past generation, you must have forgotten how people were jumping up and down and yelling and screaming that R&B music back in soul music back in the 50s and 60s was going to ruin America. And they wanted to ban people from, you listen. You ever listen to the lyrics that Clarence Carter sang? You ever listen?
Absolutely.
Go through those lyrics. They're not exactly about, character.
I understand. But the thing of it is now, with the way social media is set up, we have good vehicles to educate our kids and let them dance and things like that. What I find interesting is that with the rappers, and I'm following this conspiracy case in Atlanta with all the rappers involved and
the RICO trial.
The RICO trial and all. The issue I have is that these group of rappers, their thing is all negativity. They wave the guns and all that in there. If you want us to get guns, encourage us to go soon to be an open state everywhere, but encourage you to do it the right way. But when you call our sisters B's and H's and all that kind of stuff, when you make it rain with the fake money and all like that, and you get that to elementary kids and middle school kids and all, that's not educating our kids for us to be in a position.
Okay, Pete. You listen. I mean,
and I know we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, but okay, Pete. Could you imagine, Pete? You're at some bus stop. There are some teenagers there who are wannabe rappers on their way to the studio. And if you said that to them, they would say, "Well, why is that my responsibility? I'm just an artist."
Well, but artists have power. Even though people don't give Harry Belafonte, for an example, a lot of credit. They had issues with his skin color. They thought he was halfway in the closet, halfway out, all that other kind of stuff. But when you get into the weeds of our history, his influence and power, particularly with financial backing.
But that's a minor piece, though.
But all of us got to come together. Because
but think about this. I'll tell you a good NWA's first album.
Okay.
It sounds like gangster rap. It sounds, you listen to it. That's when F the Police and all that kind of stuff's on there, and so. But I watched an interview with Eazy-E, who was the leader of Public NWA at the time,
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'm a street reporter. I'm just reporting what's on the street.
And I
I'm
like
not. I'm just reporting. So these artists are. They I don't want to put that burden on them, Pete.
No, but I like the NWA because it was an educational piece.
That had a component. There was a time when, but I'm just saying that was a. I'm just saying I don't know that I'm comfortable putting this social education requirement on artists.
But if the rap artists, and as far as social
Why
education,
not? Why not soul artists though?
All
Why?
of them,
But why are you giving soul and R&B a pass,
I'm not,
but not
but
rap?
because-
And why are you giving rock and reggae and reggaeton a pass, but not rap? You follow me?
Because of all the music groups, the rap artists are the main ones that advocate lack of continuity, lack of confidence in our community to rebuild.
Lack of consciousness about
Okay.
what's happening.
And they advocate.
Well, you came back
violence.
just like
All right.
fire.
They
I
advocate
thought I would just be nice, Pete. And say, listen,
But I-
Biden
yeah.
has gotten our gas prices down. Can you say something nice? Biden got the gas prices down.
Well, it was inflated anyway. But even if the gas prices were the same when Biden first got in office at the end of Trump term, the bottom line, all of it is not going to help the Democrats in an off.
It's not going to. Okay, let me try something else. Okay.
No. But that's
I also
you know
read
that's a
right,
given.
but I read a report that said the housing market is stabilizing. Rents are no longer increasing, and prices are no longer jumping so quick. Does that bode well for Biden? So first thing most important to people is what they drive. The next thing is where do they live?
Well, the average person, maybe. Those of us who really
Well, who else are we talking about, though? You said the average person. Who else we should be?
well, we're talking about people who have a history of seeing the prices go up and down. See, what we have to do, especially in the black community, we need to look at 4 pieces of that issue with gas. And these are the pieces I would talk about. I would talk about when Jimmy Carter was president. I would talk about when Bush was president. I was talking about the situation when Obama came in and how he made a difference. And then I would talk about the transition from Trump to Biden with the whole issue of gas prices and selling oil and all. Because if you look at it, we're still selling more oil out of the country that we can use in the country. That's what capitalism is all about. So it's a mixed bag. But as I stated
Man,
before,
you're just playing. Wow.
as I
Yeah.
stated before, and DJ,
All right.
he have to
Okay,
agree with
all
me.
right,
It's
all
an
right,
off-year thing,
let-
and
let-
people aren't paying
All right.
attention.
So you don't think the stabilization of the real estate market is going to have a positive effect on Joe Biden?
No, it would have happened even if you, I, or Darryl was in the same office, because the fluctuations are natural.
Well, his
fluctuations.
administration is when the Fed raised the interest rates. He kept saying, "Listen, we don't have to go into recession. It doesn't have to happen."
Well, they're going to force one because I think it's going to be a forced recession because people are spending too consistently, and in order to balance everything out, you're going to have a little bit of setback with layoffs and all just to keep everybody happy. So you would think when I go out,
Can you say something nice about Joe Biden? I mean, why do Republicans insist on not
It has nothing to
acknowledging the
do-
reality
no.
that's in front of them?
it has nothing
Nothing
to
on
do,
gas
nothing
prices.
to do
All
with
right, let me
the-
try one more
the
then.
party.
Let me
It
try
has
one
nothing
more
to do
then.
with- I would say the same thing.
Let me
if
try
Trump
one. Let
was
me try
on.
one more. My friends over at Fox News were predicting doom and gloom based on the expectation of the jobs report. Jobs report comes out yesterday. 370 plus thousand
Absolutely.
non-farm seasonally adjusted jobs. Does that bode well for the Biden economy?
Yes and no, because what they're not saying is right as fall comes, I think we're going to see a substantial amount of layoffs.
Now, whoa. Now, what happens in the fall that's going to cause the layoffs?
Election, overheated economy. It's just a natural shaping out of things. You got to look at things like that. That's why I tell people the president doesn't really control everything like we think he does.
Well, I don't think he
Regardless
controls
of who
much. He
knows.
just gets the blame for whatever happens bad, and he should take the credit whatever happens good. Whether it's on his, it's kind of like Donald Trump. We've got the lowest African American unemployment in history. Not because he did anything. He just happened to be at the red light when the bus went by. And he claimed, I created the bus. I saw it first.
Well, and a lot of people begrudgingly are reluctant to give him, or they give him a little bit of the issue about the COVID. But he was the president at the time that they had to step it up and all. So it's a thing. But I think Biden's issue, to me, he's never going to be. And Mitch McConnell said it. They've been knowing each other for years and years. He said it. If people think, and this is a fault that I have with a lot of the black community.
Wait a minute. Get your Mitch comment out first. Because I want to beat that up
Mitch
first.
Basically says that Biden is a moderate to a conservative Democrat. He is.
But why? But do you think Democrats care what Mitch McConnell thinks of Joe Biden? And doesn't have an impact.
Well, it doesn't matter whether they care or not. The question is it's factual or not.
I don't know if he's the conservative Democrat. He's pro-life.
It's like Clinton. They called Clinton the first black president, and this joker put more black men in jail than anybody.
Well, I don't think he put him in by himself. You had to have a cause. In fact, you had to have somebody arrest him. The rules were what they are, and I'm not going to sit here and say that we in the legal system get a fair deal. We do not. But then we should be taking the extra steps to stay out of the legal system. But we can't go get into it, have something bad happen, and go, I can't believe they're treating me unfairly. Well, you knew they were going to treat you unfairly, when you went over there.
There you go. We either have a Clarence Thomas or a Turn 'em Loose Bruce. Remember him? A historical note.
I think things are ticking in the right direction.
We are overall. When I talk to true conservative Republicans,
where do you find those people? Because I don't know where they are. I can't find one myself.
Well, they're generally.
I can't find a Laker fan or a true conservative about now.
They're in the independent ranks. But the key to this upcoming term is how the independent vote is going to go. But when you talk in our black community about the upcoming elections in the summer and the fall, the most thing, as I told you before, somebody told me, they heard me say it before, they said, why you put our young people out there like that? Hell, when I talked to them, one of the first things they asked in that under 25 group, are we going to get another stimulus check? Really? Okay. Now that's their thing, but you just can't do with that alone.
Meaning, we going to get some free money?
Yeah. See, the free money is fine, but what you do with it. It's like.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You know what you do with money, Pete? You spend it.
I give you a good
example. That's all. That's the only thing you can do with money. What else can you do with money?
Well,
you spend it.
As we go to this commercial break.
If you don't buy something, like some ribs or concert tickets, they don't sell, Pete.
Wow.
They don't sell.
Don't look at me. I don't
they
have
don't
the
sell
money.
Key Sweat tickets. But, hey, look, we're going to take this quick break. Look, when we come back, I want to see if you can give me the political insight on what's going on with Brittany Griner. That's the WNBA basketball player. Hold on, not yet.
Okay.
Wait, Pete. Wait.
Monica looks pretty good for a.
All right, man. We'll be right back,
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
Tampa, get ready to experience a night of R&B hits after hits. It's the R&B Music Experience. Keith Sweat Birthday Weekend Celebration. Saturday, July 23rd at the Amalie Arena, Tampa, Florida. With Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat. It's going to be an epic music experience with Monica. Tevin Campbell. Tamar Braxton. Genuine. 112. And Silk. It's the R&B music experience Keith Sweat birthday weekend celebration. Saturday, July 23rd at Amalie Arena, Tampa, Florida. With Keith Sweat, Monica, Tevin Campbell, Tamar Braxton, Genuine, 112, and Silk. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.com. Another global events production.
All right. Anyway, I'm excited to have you back, and I really jumped the gun because I really want to get your input on.
Let's talk about Brittany Griner.
No. I sidetrack you for a minute, and I'm not trying to throw you a curveball, Pete. But 4th of July. We just had 4th of July on Monday, and I tried to do as much as I could to be as patriotic as I could, because I think we've got to find a way to balance our celebration of Juneteenth and the 4th of July. So my daughter and I, we went out and picked up a flag. And I don't want to order this flag. We went out and got a flag. Mm-hmm. Came back to the house, put the pole together, put the flag on the pole, and went outside and but I wanted her to be a part of the process of showing some paper. And it's been a long time since I put a flag up. My flag had, pole had broken, so I just never put one back up. But I thought it was important, and I like seeing there were a lot of celebrations around. But I just thought it was important that we celebrate the 4th of July and show our patriotism to the country with the same kind of zest and excitement we do for Juneteenth. Now, I didn't have as big a crowd or cookout or whatnot for Juneteenth as I did 4th. My wife's family came over and we did our thing. So how did you celebrate 4th of July? And what are your thoughts about how we go about balancing out these celebrations?
I did some reading. I did some reading by the guy that was the receiver for the New York Jets and his wife from Utah, Candace. They're conservative, her and her husband from Utah. I did some readings by Professor Atty from that's on MSB, NSBC a lot. Uh-huh. So I did a lot of reading. Here's what I told my grandson. In 10 years.
Now, how old is your grandson? First,
I have one that's 16.
Okay, he's good. He's of age. Okay.
But in 10 years, and listening to some of the Hispanic kids around the neighborhood, in 10 years, Juneteenth will be more popular with a more diverse group of America than the 4th of July.
Why? How
well, because one of the things about keeping CRT from in the classroom and all is because the people, the racists that don't want it in there, realize that their time is over in one way. And the kids, because of the social networking and all, they are discovering through the Native America struggles and the whole bit, hey, we've been given a false bill of goods reference.
Yes.
Okay?
No doubt.
All right. So as the Juneteenth comes in more and more, these kids are talking about how that's more inclusive. Now, the other thing is I found out.
Whoa, back. Inclusive, what is Juneteenth celebrating, and why do you say it's inclusive?
Well, it's more inclusive because of the way the news got down to Texas. So young people are asking if they really meant it, not understanding all of the things of travel and all, why did it take so long? And then the other part of it, I talked with a couple of my friends that were in the Vietnam War, which is the second group of veterans that were never appreciated.
Third.
Or second or third. Well, the first group was, of course, the Korean War.
No.
Well, let's go back.
No, we go all the way back.
All right, okay, but as far as
the British had to deal with that issue.
But as far as African
Americans fought on both. Don't do the war history for me, Pete.
But I mean,
African Americans fought on both sides of the American Revolution.
That's true.
They were with the British and they were with the colonists.
But I think
and in that situation, that's where the Book of Lists comes from, where they all get exported over to Canada. Then we move up to the Civil War, where African Americans were forced and conscripted to fight for the Confederates, and also escaped over to the Union, where they formed several infantry groups.
But I think what's happening when I talk to the Vietnam veterans, they're beginning to teach their grandchildren and great grandchildren the struggles the inequality of the draft and all of that. And so when you have that encompassing,
Well, hold on, you just blow through these stop signs.
no, but
you just blow through.
But you asked me what did I?
What inequality of the draft you talking about?
Well, if you look at the draft the way it was set up, poor kids did not have an opportunity to get deferments.
Southern poor were more apt to be drafted.
Yeah, and so I lost a lot of friends getting drafted to go
or hurt and injured.
Well, what I do like about social media among the young people now, why I think Juneteenth is going to be more important, is because the way they educate themselves throughout the world.
So you're saying that because they're CRT, they're not being educated at school effectively.
They're going to educate themselves,
and that education themselves,
and people of color from across the world who are anti-USA, they're going to use the social media app to drive an educational point of view. I'm just saying, Africa,
I love history. I love
and
history.
I'm not mad at them in a way.
And for example, when we were doing the Freeman Nelson Mandela in the 80s, I just was sitting there trying to figure out, well, how do white people come to dominate a country in Africa?
Okay.
So I went and studied up on what's called the Boer Wars.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Right. But right. And over time, I've looked at these various moments of history where we've told a different story than what is. Now, here's a sitcom my wife is watching that she's getting a great historical lesson in the world. It's called The Crown. Now, that movie is intended to be about the reign of Queen Elizabeth. I think it's Queen Elizabeth II.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's supposed to be about. But the backdrop of it is European world history, where you see these Europeans dominating the Commonwealth of Great Britain, of England. I'm sorry, Commonwealth of England encompasses all these diverse cultures around the world. And so what she's learning is, wait a minute, why are these people still controlling so much in so many people's lives? And that's kind of what you're going to.
Well,
about.
yeah, because when you look at Africa now, and you notice the last three presidents, they particularly, Obama and so far Biden, in a way they've only they gave kind of like lip service to Africa, because if they had stepped up more and more, you wouldn't see the battle in Africa now is between the Chinese and the Catholic Church.
Hold that thought. Now you mentioned Africa, and
it's over for America there.
Well, the problem with America was the majority of the African nations in this Ukraine-Russia situation trust Russia more than the United States.
You blame them? Because we have not. See, we've given them lip service, and we gave them this paternalistic. They do what we say and not what anybody else say. And in the meantime, when you look at what's going on in countries like Mozambique and everything else, the battle of Africa is going to be between the Chinese and the Catholic Church. So when you talk about young people, particularly 25 and under, as they continue to, and I've always been an advocate, don't let no teacher teach you more than you can teach yourself.
Pete, I cut you off, Pete.
Just saying.
I should have did this. So
let's go to Brittany Griner.
All right. So Brittany Griner. So Brittany Griner, star basketball player, she gets arrested for having residue of drugs that she's going through Russia. And this week she pled guilty. This week she also sent a letter to Joe Biden asking for his help in getting her released. And I think later this month she'll be sentenced in Russia. What's the political backdrop to what's going on?
You know
with
what
her?
the problem with that case? Can I be straight up with you?
She's gay?
Well, it's four things. She's a woman. She's black. She's gay. And she doesn't have any real social power within America. Those are the four things.
What about the LGBT community? They don't have some juice in this with the Democratic Party, you don't think?
The white ones do. But remember, the black LGBT community, with the exception of Atlanta and a growing phase in the Tampa Bay area, and let's say in D.C. and some areas like that, they don't even exercise the power that they could have, even though we know more and more young African American women are going into that movement, but they're trying to have one foot in politically and one foot out.
So here's the thing.
And the black gay community is excluded to an extent. And I mentioned this to Nadine Smith over a few periods of times over the years. Right here in Florida, the black community, gay community, is by design excluded from the overall gay community, except when they want to use us to pull out something like from the Martin Luther King days.
Here's the thing. Here's the event in all of this that caught my attention.
And she's not coming home either.
Hold on, easy, Pete, easy. How about this? She says, I voted for Joe Biden. She said that. In her letter, she says, I voted for you. Now, here's my problem with that. That's the first time I heard it. That's the first time I heard it. I didn't hear that when she voted for him. I didn't hear it when she asked other people to vote for him. I didn't hear it when she was campaigning saying, we got to elect Joe Biden. I didn't even hear it when she first got arrested. It's only now that we're staring at the possibility of a long, long prison sentence. Now you say, I voted for you. That's one of my problems.
She has no choice. Black gay women in sports don't have influence. They could have more. Politically, they could have more, but they won't.
Get ready to type your emails to send them in. I want to see proof she voted for him. She probably didn't even vote. I'm pretty certain she didn't vote and donate any money. I would like to see some evidence of this, and I know the least we can do. The floor of your responsibility as an American, Pete, is to say you voted. When you say you voted, it's like saying I woke up this morning and used the bathroom. That's the minimum duty you have.
Well, how about this here? A lot of people, including young people, question her. They question her sincerity as far as understanding and or involvement in the continuing civil rights and women.
I don't know that she is involved.
No, she's not. It's fake. So that's why you see the black community is not.
You can quietly
they're not interested in her.
Everybody didn't have to stand on a corner with a sign and
that's
a shirt.
True. I've never done that much.
There are ways that you can impact what's happening in so many other kinds of ways. But I always have an issue with someone when the chips are down and then everything is on the line. Now you want to come on, say certain things.
It's a part of the thing. For an example, people compare Michael and LeBron on the court, then they compare Michael and LeBron off the court. You know who white people respect more off the court?
Michael Jordan. You know why? Because he said Republicans buy sneakers too.
Well, not only that, but Michael isn't gonna. Michael is all about Michael.
Right.
So we're gonna.
That's the beauty of capitalism, but unfortunately, everything we talk about, no matter what label we put on it, it comes down to capitalism.
Yeah, and then of course he got rid of the sister for sympathizing.
Be back in shape now because you're talking through the break.
All right, countdown. He missed the countdown.
No,
1, 2. We'll be right back on another edition of In Touch News, and we'll be right back.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
When you've been injured, you deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
You heard it. You heard it right here. Look at the new edition of In Touch News there. And you heard my boy say, if you go to Clint, he takes the pain out of
being hurt, man.
Being hurt.
Listen, so
with Brittany.
one of the things that really got me this week is we had two major, over the 4th of July, we had a major shooting. We had a multitude of shooting incidents.
Oh, yeah.
Multitude of shooting incidents. And I want to compare, if we could, for a few minutes, the shooting incidents in the United States versus the shooting incidents in Japan, because they had their own shooting incident over the week this week with the shooting of the Japanese,
that was interesting.
The former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo, was it Abe Shinzo or Abe, was assassinated. Well, anytime a world leader, former leader, gets assassinated, it shakes the world up because it has a chilling effect on leadership. Because the risk factor, we take that for granted sometimes. I've stood next to some really, really important people and wondered, man, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable standing here next. I was standing next to Colin Powell one time, and I was just thinking, man, what if somebody just is pissed and decide, you know what, Colin, I didn't like some of the stuff you did over in war in Iraq, and so I'm gonna get a little bit.
Well, that was a hit job, and that was a hit job. I think that was a planned hit job in Japan. And when you talk about the mass shooting here, as I told y'all last week, I've been telling you, I think we're gonna see more of that. I think Florida is gonna step up, and you're gonna see more of that in Florida. If you look at the case, thank God for the case in Richmond, Virginia, that was stopped.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
And I'm looking at the black police chief there. They got a real issue up there going on. And what's helping the mass shootings is that the people who are involved in them and all, they already have a plan to throw excuses on everybody else except
So
for
let's put these
and it's going to be more.
So the mass shootings fall, I think, in the 3 categories. The one category is kind of gang related, personal. Somebody's striking back at another group. That's Chicago, Baltimore,
and right here in Tampa with that young 16-year-old kid.
Yeah. So we get a little bit of that hit for hit kind of stuff, right? And then you have the kind that's economically or politically based. That's Abe,
correct,
assassination. And then the third group is this where you have these unstable, I'm not going to say mentally ill, I'm going to call them unstable people who decide to share their pain that they're feeling in life, right? And so let's talk about this
unstable group. I could tell you,
I don't want to call them mentally ill.
They're not.
They're
the majority
unstable.
of no. Here's the thing. Here's my thinking from a probably a militant standpoint. Is that those folks that's doing those mass shootings like that we will all of a sudden say mental health and
like in Highlands,
Island
Illinois,
and all like that. That is the to me the advanced soldiers of the new revolution that's coming.
Whoa. So when you say the word soldier, Pete,
I think
that implies that these individuals are connected somehow.
They're connected. Well, they're connected with
the guy in Texas. What is it, Uvalde, and the guy in Highland for me now. What's the connection?
Well, when you go on these social network sites, Reddit, and a whole lot of them, what you see is those folks are being indoctrinated in to be the advanced soldiers to help white supremacy reclaim America in total. Now, we can dance around the issue all we want, but it's my belief that those folks including some of them may be mentally deranged. Black people have not hurt them, but when you go on these websites, you're seeing them. They have, in order to bring the white revolution back, the white supremacy back, you got to deal with 4 groups of people. And this is the order of which they're going at it. African Americans first, Jewish second, gay community third, and immigrants of a darker color fourth. These are the target groups that these right-wing extremists and all are going after. They're using foot soldiers and everything else, and they're putting them in to go first to do the cover for when things really get even worse in this country and splits us even more apart, because the ultimate goal is, if you take out the ultimate goal, you let the legal system take out the rights and the reforms and accomplishments of the gay community. You let the right-wing extremists take out the black and the Jewish community. The immigrant community is reason why it's number 4. It's easier to control because culturally, whether they're dark-skinned or light-skinned immigrants, the rule of thumb is that they want to work in any dollar.
They just want to don't bother us. They're not trying to cause problems.
Right. So these 4, if you can control these 4, like in Tampa, they got another. This group is coming back in Tampa again, with these young extremists and young sympathizers in this new youth movement that's going to be meeting down at the convention center somewhere. You don't see that among Jewish youth. You don't see it among black youth, and you're not seeing it too much unless you go to Comic-Con or anime or something like that,
right.
or one of these rock concerts with the white young gay group. So it's a pattern where you're sitting in the you can call them crazy, whatever, but to me, it's a plan. It's a plan.
They're radicalizing these young people,
not realizing that when it's all said and done, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to get as much respect and power as they think. So you take the case, this last case up there in Ohio somewhere. Look at the father of this kid. Look at his own issues and how militant he was to an extent as a right-wing sympathizer. He was a Trump supporter. Look how he went to get his kids signed up for the guns and all. Look at, and remember, that town is predominantly Jewish. So it's a planned attack. I'm in fact.
Now, he's local though. He's from that area. The mayor actually said she taught him, and he was involved in Cub Scouts.
It doesn't matter because what's going to happen is that the issue with all of that is he was radicalized and educated on the
internet.
On the internet. He mashed something in. So that's my take. I think, you know what, the only thing that has surprised me so far is we haven't had a couple of black churches bombed, but they're coming.
Like a year or so ago. Let me. So I'm going to draw a correlation though. Why is the Republican Party allowing these radical folks to kind of hang around?
Well,
I mean, Donald Trump did it. Hey, stand back and stand by. Good people on both sides. Why are Republicans letting them hang around?
The majority of Republicans that are right-wing like that are right-wing sympathize. You know why? And I put myself in their position. You know why we let them hang around? Because they can do the dirty work for us. And that is what's happening. And when you plan something like that, you say, who are we going to get? The crazies.
But when you shoot up, that shooting in Highlands, Illinois, it was all white folks. It was a white community.
Yeah,
he shot up a bunch of white folks.
Yeah.
How does that move some agenda forward?
Because when you look at the radicalization of these groups, you got to look at the instruction manuals, the building up. A better idea would if you go back and look at how part of the Hitler movement came out, okay.
Hold on for a minute, Pete. We got look. Wait a minute. We I think we're back. We got a call on the air.
Okay, got a call.
Call, are you there?
Yes, I am. This is the famous call calling
man,
in.
Wait. You can't gloss yourself up and you play yourself to be famous. But we appreciate you hanging in there, Carl. I know you've been sending in messages for the last couple of months and hanging on. I appreciate that, and I apologize for all the heat. Your president, Joe Biden, who you endorsed before he won South Carolina, has been taken, and we appreciate you listening this morning. What is on your mind?
What else am I? Okay, Mr. Edwards, nice to see you back in the saddle.
All right,
you know, I see that you're holding the good attorney to not going too far to the right.
Wait, hold on. Wait, this ain't you to call in and gloss him either.
Well, he fails. Well, what happened? He fails to recognize some of the best attorneys is a combination of formal education and street law. And Clint has both, but he just doesn't like to show his street law.
All right.
You know.
Okay, Carl, what's on your mind this morning?
But and the reason I called it, Joe Biden. The reason I voted for him because he's a more seasoned type president. You know, he's more seasoned, and I knew that with the mess that went on with the Trump administration, it would take somebody that's really firm. I mean, to endure some of this stuff. You got shootings going. You got the economy going down south. You just got a lot of stuff going for someone as old as him. It's going to take a toll on him mentally, probably physically, because. But what I think, his cabinet is the one that's going to be the one that's going to help him through this.
Listen, I hope you were listening to the program earlier. I asked Pete some questions, and he gave some answers. One of them I thought was the benefit of what's happening with gas prices. What have you been noticing with gas prices out there on the road?
The gas prices, well, they're fluctuating up and down, and I noticed in some states like Indiana, where they're close to the pipelines or whatever, they're a lot lower. If you go out west, I was out in Kansas a couple of days ago, and the fuel price was like down in the threes.
Yeah,
they're like 380 and 389. Your diesel price was like 529.
Yeah.
So you see the effort that he's putting into trying to balance this thing out.
Is that going to help his approval rating, though? Is that going to help his approval rating that he's gotten gas prices somewhat under control?
Well, yeah, it's going to have his approval rating, but he needs to come out and he needs to be more firm and talk about this stuff. And he's not really getting the messages out. And you're right. The Democrats are really bad about, they just don't market themselves. They don't really, bang the drum. What kind of?
No, let me say this: what we don't.
They're wimps.
We don't gloss ourselves as much as some other people do. We don't sit around patting ourselves on the back and talking about what a great job we've done when you didn't do anything. We just get the job done.
But they don't kick butt and take names either.
We do kick butt. We don't take names because they're irrelevant. We got more butt to kick. Somebody else will take the names. That's how we think about it. Because there's more butt that needs kicking. We got to move on. And Donald Trump and what he's done with the Republican Party is mired in that. But I don't want to get into Carl's time here. Carl, go ahead. What else is on your mind this morning, Carl?
Okay, but just saying that I think he's doing a good job, whatever. And on another note, I don't think he should get into this Brittany Biden thing. I don't think he should get into that because that ties into other negotiations with Russia.
Yeah, how about the guy? Carl? How about the guy that's been waiting for a while to come out of there? You heard what his parents said, right? What the hell happened to us?
Well, and that's why Trump didn't do anything. Because Trump didn't do anything because that was.
Listen, where's Jesse? Send Jesse. Well, somebody get Jesse Jackson. Go get this man. Bring him on home, man. Right? Jesse used to go get people. Jesse used to go get people. Bring him on.
Well, just in the corner somewhere shaking, man. He's
brutal,
not in good health.
All right, well, Carl, thank you for calling, man. Appreciate you listening all the time, man. And hey, hit that horn one time for us. All right, man. There we go. Guy's got a horn on his cell phone. He can just hit the button and beep it for us there. So he says, Pete, I didn't think about this. And we can talk about this on the other side of the break. The political peril of Joe Biden getting involved in that grit and grinder thing, getting her out of there. That might be
if he bring them both home, the guy that's been there for a while,
right,
that Trump ignored.
Let's talk about it on the other side though. Why that would be beneficial to either side to let that happen though.
Well, politically it would be because you're gonna bring a black gay lady that plays the women's NBA home.
Pete, you gonna talk through the break?
Well, no, he didn't do the countdown. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be right back. First time in the studio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
You've been injured. You deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
All right, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad to be back. This is yours truly, Sweet Pete. Still eligible if you hey man, got to get ready for the cold weather coming up. But anyway,
listen at you, boy. That's some old campus stuff there, boy.
No, that's just an old G thing. You know what I'm saying?
In the wintertime, all the players on campus get locked up because it's getting cold. They got to go indoors.
Yeah, man. Okay. And don't forget, folks. Don't forget.
Spring, you can't find them at spring break.
And look at. Don't forget, the In Touch News is out now, and we want to encourage you. School is right around the corner in Hillsborough County, Clinton. You know, they go back 1st of August. But look, brothers, the money, if you can save from that extra bottle thing that they charge you $175 for a $45 bottle, take that. They got so many, and In Touch encourages this. We really do. Contribute to these organizations that are trying to get these back-to-school events going.
I'll go one better, Pete.
You know?
I'll go one better.
What's that?
How about you fathers go buy your kids back-to-school stuff.
Right now.
Watch me now. And then I won't need to feel like I need to go donate to an organization to take care of your child.
I like that.
That's a
I like
basic
that
thing.
part.
I like that.
Let's start with fathers. Take your kids and buy your kids some back-to-school supplies.
And I told a brother that over the week on the phone, and I said, look, I appreciate the showboating efforts when you want to have the ladies whistle and all that in front of me and buy an overpriced bottle of Remy or Bel Air or whatever.
I need to come hang out with you, Pete. Ain't no bottles. I like seeing the bottle service in my location.
Well, that means you ain't come out the house.
I'm not seeing the bottle service.
But, I mean, we want you, seriously, In Touch News.
Support these organizations
support
that
them,
are out there.
We got a bunch of them.
And thankfully, respectfully, Pete, no matter what community you're in, we have strong organizations putting in the groundwork to help
Absolutely.
these kids get it. I tell people all the time, I am a public school, government-supported education product. I got free lunch. I got a Pell Grant. I got student loans.
Absolutely.
Every governmental assistance that you could think of along the way to help me. And a lot of times when I'm doing stuff in the community, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, people say, well, I don't see your trophies. I don't give a rat's butt about the trophies, What I look for is like I look for kids that I work with in the juvenile justice system, and as they come out and they moved on in their life, and I've seen a couple of them that have gone through the system, and now they've obtained custody of their kids. Making a difference. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So what's on our list to talk about?
So,
no donuts. No.
But let's finish up the grit and grinder piece that we're talking about. So Carl calls in, and poor guy. I mean, he just been blowing up my email, blowing up my text message for the last month or so because he couldn't call in, and he thinks that Joe Biden should stay away from this Brittany Griner thing, because of the political fallout. Your thoughts about that, Pete?
Not a political fallout, but Biden, see, they want this mad assassin or whatever, Russia back. It's all politics with it, all of that. But I'm of the opinion that they should work on bringing the Whalen guy back.
Yes.
And Brittany. But it's not, if Biden doesn't bring Brittany Grimes, bring her back, during his administration, it's no political loss for him.
What about the gay community? See, my
here's
thoughts
the
are
thing.
the gay community sitting there watching.
Not that the real gay community is fronting when they talk about Brittany Griner.
They're talking about decent gay people.
Right. See,
they're not talking about like. They're talking about decent.
It's a
people.
fake narrative. The white gay community is not that attached in brotherhood and sisterhood with the black gay community, and we ought to stop giving them credit to do that.
Okay, well,
and so you think they're worried about Brittany coming home? Now, here's the other argument I heard about it during the week.
There'll be a 3-for-1 swap.
Hold on. Well, here's
That's
the
what
deal.
it's
I'm
gonna
gonna tell you. So I check stuff on.
We got a 3-for-1 coming.
So tell me this then. Why every time something goes on with Brittany Griner, I see it on CNN? Is it because they have so many gay people working at CNN?
No, I think
every time they move her from one location to the next, she eats a meal, changes her shirt. There's a report on CNN.
But they're trying to build up what should be built up. But the black community should build up our diversity. I don't care whether you personally agree with it or not.
I'm not sure how that ties into what's going on.
I'm going to tell you why. Because if you look at black media, outside of some filler articles that they get from other news agencies like UPI or AP or something like that, black media is not concerned about Brittany Griner. They're not.
I know that, but you have a gay population in this country that rarely gets the limelight. Brittany Griner it's the appearance of an injustice in front of us.
But that's a fake narrative.
But whether it's fake or not, it looks real.
Well, see,
by CNN,
I can tell you what. The real sisters that I know that are really in tune to the black gay liberation movement, they're not buying that CNN stuff.
They don't. Well, I see it all the time. All right, so
and so here's the thing. Like I said before, it's going to be a 3-to-1 deal. But even if Biden doesn't bring her home, it's not going to cost them
votes.
You
think the Whalen guy is he's more political?
Oh, absolutely.
I'll tell you what my problem is with Brittany Griner. She evidently did what they allege she did. She pled guilty. Now, that may be politically pushing all this, but my problem now is she's in a foreign country. You broke their laws. There's nothing political in that. You broke the law. And now you have to pay. And we have Americans around the world in prison because they broke another country's laws.
I suspect in Brittany's case, in the past, they've gotten away with it. This time they
Watch, I'm going to say this. The only reason she pled guilty is there's already a deal in place. That's what the plea deal
could
was.
be that. And
that's all that's deal in place.
And here's another thing what we're not talking about it's not a red herring, it's a fact. Brittany Griner, prior to this, was seen as a domestic violence abuser.
Yes.
Okay? So I'll leave it at that.
Well, she was accused of that. Now, I don't want to leave without giving kudos to my fellow sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Pete, I'm sure by now you felt the winds blowing towards Orlando. They've got about 15,000 plus rolling in for their, I think it's their 70th boule that they're having over in Orlando.
Yeah, the stealth bombers. That's what I call them.
They're rolling. Pete, I don't know what time you're heading over to Orlando, but they're kicking it off tonight with a private Disney event, and then they're going to have a bunch of other private events that we can only wish we could attend. A public meeting on Monday. But as you know, a friend of our show, Delano Stewart's wife, Carolyn House Stewart, is the former international bacheloress of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. So just want to give a shout out to the AKA.
Yeah, give them a shout out because they, regardless whether they Deltas or AKs or whatever, they all running over the brothers now. Unless you get them anchored. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so my wife was packing up her stuff today. The car loaded to the top. You know,
they over there all week.
She gonna be there. I guess she's leaving today. She'll be back Friday. She said. And then a week later, then the Deltas are over in Orlando. So just want to say that. So, Pete, we got to get out of here. Closing comments, Pete.
I'm back. Like I say, guys, take care of your bodies. Those of you who played sandlot football or professional sports, it's no joke when those bones start to be going crazy and all like that. You got to change up some stuff. So I'm looking for a higher seating car now to keep that lower back in shape and all. But in the meantime, maybe I can get a Heartline to put a closer bus stop to 5508 because it's 3 blocks down the road.
Really?
And remind Heartline when you're going to start advertising in black media, since you want the black people who normally support the tax to keep doing that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, keep it real, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We absolutely want to support our black businesses, particularly government, with our tax dollars. So appreciate you being back in studio. Appreciate you, DJ CEO, for getting up and racing in there.
Oh, you should have seen him running.
And he did his thing, though, man. So, all right. Appreciate y'all, everybody. Be safe, and we will be back next week right here.
I saw him get out the car running.